Hello and welcome to your GMan Season 15 Division 4H Matches of the Week recap for Week 5. I'm your host Lord Sigmund and we'll be going through the matches from not this week, last week even. Sorry for the delay, I've had a bit of a rough week unfortunately, so not going to be as detailed this week I'm afraid. I have managed to watch all the recaps, but there's not going to be really any supplementary images or material or video I'm afraid. So let's jump into it straight off the bat. So our first match is Pylons Highwaymen High Elves versus Illogic 88's High Barnet Raiders, the Lizardmen. These Lizardmen are, in my opinion, one of the scarier teams of the division. They've got a very good record. And yeah, this match was a bit one-sided, I'm afraid. The High Elves induced a wizard and chose to kick. They used that wizard though on turn 1 to bolt the ball carrying skink right in the middle of the Lizardmen backfield, which seems a bit premature to me. They did run 2 elves round though, round the lizard line to mark the ball. Though the lizards then surround the ball and attempt to pick it up at the end of turn 2 for some reason. They did have the ball surrounded, like I think 6 or 7 different Lizardmen around the ball, but rather than leave it as there and try and pick it up when it was a bit more safe to then move somewhere else with it, they sent a skink in, failed the pickup with a tackle zone on it, and the ball scatters out to where only one Lizardman is marking it. They are not punished though, because the elves fail a dodge to pick the ball up on turn 3, and the lizards get it on their turn, cage it up, injuring 2 of the elves in the process, leaving too few elves between them and the elf end zone. And they're able to stall out for a touchdown on turn 8, with 4 elves in the casualty box by then. Pouring rain starts the second half, leads to the elves failing a vanity pass on turn 9. This leads to a scrum of elves and lizards right against the elf end zone for the next 5 turns, before the lizards finally manage to score again on turn 13. The exact same thing happens again, but quicker this time, with the lizards marching forward through the elf half on the next drive and getting a 3rd touchdown on turn 16. I predicted this one correct, and the lizards walked all over the elves, literally in the second half. If we have a look at the statistics, yeah, the Highwaymen have 12% ball possession. Most of this first half was the ball lying on the floor due to the rain. That's why the possession of the game is only at 55% for the whole game. But the injuries inflicted by the Lizardmen there put paid to any response by the Highwaymen completely, and you can tell by the skill points received, the Lizardmen ran away with that game. Next up, we have Cranky Goblin Sewer King Skaven team versus Massey Sally's Agora's Warriors, the Orcs. Again, a correct prediction from me. I believed that cages would again be proved to be Cranky Goblin's kryptonite, and that's what happened, I'm afraid. The Orcs started the game by choosing to kick and set up a wall of players for the Skaven to try and get through, and they did manage it. They chose a tightish cage formation down the side rather than staying loose, and then failed a 4+ dodge into 3 tackle zones to escape with the ball from the surrounding Orcs, which let the Orcs cage up with it on turn 5, and then they do what they did best and march the cage down the field to score on turn 8, with taking 5 rats off the pitch in the process. 2 knockouts wake up on both sides for the second half, and 8 rats set up against a full Orc team. Exactly the same thing happens in the second half, with the Orc cage scoring on turn 16, and the rats are unable to do anything to even slightly inconvenience it. After turn 12, they give up and run all the players to the other end of the pitch, leaving the Orcs just to wait, trying to save themselves some more injuries. Pretty much a non-game as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. The Skaven get 1 pass to go with their MVP. The Agora's Warriors have 2 touchdowns and some casualties to go with theirs. Next up we have King Kill's Apocalypse of Death Chaos team versus Oax's Jurassic Sparks Lizardmen team. Another one that was a bit of a non-game, I'm afraid. Quickly have a look at the statistics. The Chaos team did win 2-0 here. Yeah, pretty much even ownership, but we have a Chaos team that with 6 KOs, 2 injuries, 1 kill against 1 KO and 1 injury from the Lizardmen. More blocks succeeded, but yeah. Again, 1 casualty there for them. A load of skill points for the Chaos team. Yeah. The Lizardmen induced the Wizard and chose to kick. The Chaos cage up on the line of scrimmage on turn 2, and the Lizards blast it with a fireball, but it doesn't do anything. It knocks over 2 Beastmen, but no armor breaks. And then they fail to retrieve the ball. The Chaos get the ball back on turn 4 in the middle of a Lizard massacre, and score on turn 7 after knocking out 4 Lizards, injuring 2, and one of them being sent off with a foul as well. 2 Lizardmen wake up, and the Lizards set up with 6, including only 1 skink for the second half. And those 6 players are no match for the Chaos, walking down the pitch and scoring on turn 14. Pretty much a non-game. Nothing else happens after that, and the game ends with the win to the Chaos. Those claws made a mincemeat of the Lizardmen, make my prediction correct from this game as well. Next up, we have this game. Yep, this was my match versus the Swedish Forest Wolves. It's decidedly elfy match stats, I'm afraid. 3-2 win to the Elves, but if we have a look at the statistics, we only had 25% ball possession. 3 armor breaks, which were all stuns, while my opponents have 68% ball possession. 20 armor breaks, which led to 5 knockouts, 5 injuries, and 1 death. And annoyingly enough for me, 1 successful interception, which might have made the game, the match 4-2 rather than 3-2. Might be a bit biased, but this was my pick for entertaining game to watch from this week. The Necromantics induced 2 bribes, and the Elves chose to kick and got a perfect defence from that. The Necros got the ball in their backfield, and the Elves ran around the Necro line of scrimmage to pressure the ball carrier. The Necros ran the ball carrying ghoul over to the other flank to try and save it, but the Elves followed, blitzed one of the cage corners, based up the ball carrier with a sidestep player, and based up the other corners of the cage as well. This pays off when the ball carrier fails to dodge away from an elf on turn 3, and the Elves retrieve the ball and score their first touchdown on turn 4. On the next drive, the Necromantic defence is tougher. The Elves still manage to sneak some players through and mark up the ball carrying ghoul again. Annoyingly enough, to get the ball to safety, Gimlick makes a successful 3+ pass and 5+ catch to a flesh golem that would run down the field. It takes us a turn and a half to sack the flesh golem and get the ball back, and we're about to make a pass to a catcher to score a second touchdown when the star werewolf on the Necromantic team stops that by intercepting the pass on a 6, which ends the first half 1-0 to the Elves. The second half starts with 9 Elves facing a full Necromantic team who get their own perfect defence. Thankfully, the Elves are able to get some catches into the Necromantic half, sneak it through the defence, push it down the flank, and Nerves of Steel means that they're able to pass down the pitch and score on turn 10. The Necromantics respond on their drive with some good bashing and remove 2 more Elves on the pitch, leaving little opposition to their cage march, and they score their first touchdown on turn 12. On the Elf drive, we get a quick snap and use it to take advantage to blitz the zombie on the far flank, and use a single space to sneak through an entire cage of Elves, including the ball carrier, rather than holding the ball back and going for the passing play. We relying on our blodge step to protect the ball carrier, and and the lack of the tackle on the Necromantic team, which pays off because the blitz on the ball carrier fails due to no tackle. This lets the elves go 3-1 up on turn 14. Again, with too few elf players to mount a decent defence, the Necros cage up and get their final touchdown on turn 16. But too little too late for them though. I predicted this one incorrect. I was very pessimistic about facing the killer werewolf on Gimlick's team, and he did do a lot of damage, but we got the win in the end. Next up we have the Patchy Pack versus the Warbeast, Lovely Fool's Necromantic team against Cthulhu's Orcs. The Orcs induce 2 bribes and the Necros choose to receive. Unfortunately those Orcs don't get a lot of use out of the bribes, I'm afraid. The first turn ends when the Necromantics fail a 1 dice line of scrimmage block with no one marking the ball. But the Orcs can't take advantage of the turnover because they can't get through the Necromantic line. On turn 2 the Necros fail to pick up the ball, and this time the Orcs capitalise on it by breaking through and picking up the ball themselves. Unfortunately, after that they then 1D block the killer wolf with a guard Mighty Blow Blitzer, who rows a skull and injures himself, getting minus movement in the process. That same wolf then retrieves the ball after the newer wolf sacks the ball carrier, and the Necromantics make their way down the left flank over the next few turns, keeping any threatening Orc players based up, and score on the newer wolf on turn 8 after handing off. The second half is extremely uneventful though, unfortunately. The Orcs cage up in the middle of their half and then hit a wall of Necromantic players, not moving anywhere until turn 16, when they run out and try to lob the ball down the pitch to safety. This fails with a fumble though, and the Necromantics just pick it up and score again on the last turn. I predicted this one correct, but it was a pretty uneventful match to watch. And next up we have the Chaos Black Nightmares, Michaelis' Chaos team versus the Emperor's Chosen human team coached by Misakre. This was a 1-0 win to the humans. The humans chose to receive and got a touchback. They run the ball down the left flank, giving it to a blitzer or a catcher that was pretty much close to the line of scrimmage. But the ball carrier is left exposed on turn 2 and the Chaos are able to sack it and recover it. It's the Chaos turn to make a run for it on turn 4, but the rookie Beastman ball carrier is left exposed on the line of scrimmage, and the humans respond by blitzing it and retrieving it themselves. This back and forth continues for the entire half though, with each team taking it in turns to run the ball up and down the Chaos half, and not get anywhere with it ultimately. So the first half ends 0-0. 2 full teams set up for the second half, but the Chaos are missing their Minotaur and the humans are missing their Star Thrower to knockouts. The Chaos cage up and try to go down one flank, but the humans defend it well. On turn 12 they make a run over to the other flank, but leave their ball carrier next to the Star Human Blitzer, who's on the floor at the time, but the humans use him to sack the ball carrier on their turn 12 and retrieve the ball behind a defensive screen. This lets them stall out till turn 15, when they score the winning touchdown to end the game. I predicted this one correct, but as you can see from the numbers here, not a lot happened in this game. Yeah, lots of knockouts, no injuries, similar number of blocking. Yeah, virtually no skill points, no casualties, only the 1 touchdown to go with the MVPs for both teams. And last but not least, we have Maiden Maniacs Black Creek Buccaneer Dark Elf team versus Zoomnig's Ulfraganger Norse team. This is a 2-0 will to the Dark Elves, and again, very low numbers for both teams. MVP goes to this runner, Gammerman, the star runner on the Norse team, who is 1 skill point away from 76 SPV there. But yeah. Lots of skill points for the Black Creek Buccaneers, and the Ulfragangers only got 1 skill point of completion to go with their MVP. That itself was done in a vanity pass in turn 16 as well, so Ulfragangers not really achieving a lot in this game, I'm afraid. The Norse induce Zara the Slayer and the Elves choose to receive. A thrown rock is stopped by the Elves Stadium upgrade on the kickoff though. The Elves kill the Star Norse Blitzer on turn 2, but the Apothecary saves him to no casualty. The Elves send players down both flanks and spent the turn running the ball from flank to flank, looking for a path to score. They break through and get the touchdown on turn 7 after a bit of a stall though. The second half starts with a second thrown rock being blocked by the Stadium, so definitely proving its money's worth there, and a failed line of scrimmage block from the Norse Yeti, who knocks himself out. The Norse get the ball and cage up on the line of scrimmage on turn 10, and it doesn't move again until turn 12 when they make a break down the flank. It's unprotected though, so the Elves easily sack the carrier and get the ball deep into the Norse half with no opposition by turn 14, and get their second touchdown on turn 15. The Norse end the game with the aforementioned vanity pass to level up their linemen. I predicted this one correct as well. The Norse were no real match for the Dark Elves. So, another great week for the predictions. I got all of them except my pessimistic prediction correct. If we have a look at the standings table, it is not really accurate to the end of week 5, I'm afraid, because a couple of matches have happened since I was running late on this update. But as it stood, the Black Creek Buccaneers were 3-1 at the end of this, so they were down here, and Swedish Forest Wolves were a bit further down. They lost another game as well. So I still think it's all to play between me, the High Barnet Raiders, the Patchy Pack, the Emperor, and the Black Creek Buccaneers as well. I think the Emperor's Chosen still stand a chance as well, and the Swedish Forest Wolves, if they get a bit more luck, but they've had 2 losses in the past couple of games, unfortunately. King Kill might just be able to sneak in as well if the people at the top have some unfortunate matches in the last half of the season. But I think it's not looking as bright for the Jurassic Sparks and Ogori's Warriors, the Ulfragangers, the Highwaymen, the Sewer Kings, the Case Black Nightmares, and the Warbeasts. Definitely a bit of a tale of two halves at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at the teams. So again, 3 of the matches for week 6 have happened, I do believe. Yep, 1, 2, 3. So some of the teams are going to be a bit different, but I'll talk about the development that happened in the team for the teams after the week 5 matches. So the Patchy Pack, no skill-ups and no injuries for them, I'm afraid. Case Black Nightmares the same, no skill-ups, no injuries, and also the Black Creek Buccaneers, no skill-ups and no injuries. For the Ulfragangers, their lineman Frillen got that single pass, which gives him Dirty Player. Very good pick up for this team. Definitely needed. High Barnet Raiders, they had a very good match and a good haul as well. Waits, their star mighty block tackle Saurus, picked up break tackle, making him pretty much unstoppable. Gotta watch out for this guy. He's gonna massacre some teams. And to Helts, here the diving tackle skink got sure feet from the MVP. A big prayer to Nuffle down here got a touchdown and gets diving tackle to go with. They suffered no injuries though on week 5. Next we have the Emperor's Chosens, no injuries, no skill ups. The Warbeasts, Wombat the Troll, he got stand firm from the MVP. But Spotted Hyena, the Star Blitzer, the Guard, Mighty Blow Blitzer, injured himself off of 1 dice failed block and gets minus movement. There was a thrower called Greylop here, but he got minus agility and he's been replaced with a rookie, Axolotl. My team, no skill ups for us. We lost our plus movement catcher, who got killed twice by Grey, the star killer werewolf on the Swedish Forest Wolves. Yeah, killed him once. Apothecary saved to no casualty, then killed him on a blitz on the very next turn. Though if any of my positionals were going to die, I'm glad it was that one. So he's been replaced by a fresh catcher there. And my block kick lineman is missing the next game, which is unfortunate against Skaven. I was looking forward to having that. Next, the Jurassic Sparks. Quebhouse here picks up Mighty Blow off a casualty. And Huatek. Oh yeah, sorry, that's why I can't find him. Huatek was a Rookiesaurus with 5 skill points, got killed. I was looking for a player because I thought he got a skill up, but no, he died. Yeah. And Ugori's Warriors. Magnik here, the rookie blitzer, picks up tackle off a casualty, but they suffer no injuries this week. Pylons, Highwaymen. So, Harry Dunson here picks up Wrestle off a pass. This guy here, Arleton Werniel, was a rookie, was a journeyman in week 5. He got them MVP and gets hired. It looks like he's done well for him since then as well. Maybe another MVP and a pass. Nope. Yeah, MVP and a pass in the last match. But unfortunately we had Orastel Aguta here, picks up got injured with minus strength, and we had Rich Dunson here, a rookie catcher who got minus movement and really should be replaced. They've got the money to do it. This guy should be hanging around. No point keeping him. Sewer Kings, no skill ups here. The team only got 6 skill points from the game. Though the Rapid Laster here got the MVP, taking him to 5 skill points. And we had a rookie lineman down here called Dunkeep that died. Apocalypse of Death. No skill ups for them. No injuries. They're looking as mighty blowy and as clawy as ever. And the Swedish Forest Wolves, last but not least. Mr. Cranky, their fresh werewolf, scored both touchdowns for the team and got plus agility as a result. Grey Wind, their long-suffering, skillless ghoul, get sure hands from the last minute vanity pass, and Elfia here picks up guard from the MVP. No injuries for these guys. So, I'm not going to look at Spikebot stats this week because they're off since other matches have taken place for week 6 since then. My next week predictions. Oops. So, like I said, some matches have already happened. So, the High Barnet Raiders versus Agori's Warriors. I think this High Barnet Raiders are just getting scarier and scarier, and another win for them here seems pretty likely. 2-2 for the Highwaymen, Jurassic Sparks. I would not have predicted this because I don't predict draws, but a small ray of light for the Highwaymen here. Having a bit of relative luck, I would have probably predicted the Lizardmen to win this. So, nice to see them not lose the game this time. Then it's me versus the Sewer King Skaven team. I think the Elves are going to have another win here. The Sewer Kings might shine. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game, like my game this week versus the Necromantics. I'm not going to be caging up, so we'll see how Cranky Goblin does against a non-caging team. If the Sewer Kings are going to be able to pull anything off, it's going to be against a team like mine. So I'm hopeful for them, but I think I've got to side with myself for this week. I think we're going to carry on our win streak. Then we have the Cthulhu Collects Wild Beasts versus King Kill's Apocalypse of Death. Yeah, I think the Chaos team are going to rip the Orcs to shreds. Yeah. The Chaos on that team is just... Yeah, I think they're going to do to the Orc team what they did to the Lizardman team this week, and just rip them apart. Then we have the Swedish Forest Wolves versus Emperor's Chosen. I would have predicted this one wrong. I would have gone for the Swedish Forest Wolves, but the Emperor's Chosen's 3-2 win there. I bet that's going to be a good one to recap next week. Can't wait to see it. Great upset for the humans there. Then we have Patchy Pack versus the Ulfragangers. The Patchy Pack are still my pick for scariest team in the division, and I think he's going to make good use of his Killer Wolf to smear the Norse across the pitch. I'd love to be proven wrong though. Can someone please kill that wolf before I face them? And then last, we've got Black Creek Buccaneers versus the Chaos Black Nightmares. I think I would have predicted this one correctly. The Black Creek Buccaneers are proving very, very, very strong. I would definitely predict them to beat the Chaos Black Nightmares. Okay, so hopefully I will be a bit quicker when it comes to doing the recap for week 6. Sorry this one was so delayed again, and for those of you who have not played your match yet, good luck in the coming matches. That's all from me. See you later.